if you have a body mass index greater than 30, you have a 3 times higher risk of presenting to a hospital.
Hey guys, I am here with Dr. Russell Tigges. We are going to chat COVID-19, what you can do beforehand, what you can do afterwards. Russ, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Eric. Great to be here.
I'm excited. This will be fun. Russ, for people that don't know you at home, can you give us a little bit of your background, what you do, where you're from, with all that fun stuff?
Sure. I am an orthopedic surgeon specializing in joint replacements. Been doing it for a long time, almost 25 years. Been doing CrossFit now for, getting closer to 5 years, I think.
5 years now, yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Love it. Changed my life. And been studying functional medicine and nutrition now for probably a solid 3 years, very diligently. I've read more books now than I think I read in residency, almost. And just trying to help people stay as healthy as possible.
So what have you, let's talk COVID first, and we'll dive deep down that rabbit hole. What have you seen so far with COVID? We're in New York, obviously, so we've pretty much are in the epicenter of all of this. What have you seen so far COVID-wise?
COVID, my practice is down a little, roughly about 50%. We're not operating at all. That's basically all surgeons and hospitals around the area. There's a real kind of a fade from New York City north. Just talking yesterday with some medical leaders from the area, and the rate of positive diagnosis goes from like 30% in Westchester to 20% here to like 9% up by Red Hook and North and in Albany. So it really is a New York City epicenter. Not that it's not going to spread, but it's definitely, southern based. Seeing a lot of people at Vassar Hospital. They got 60 positives in the hospital. 38 of them are on ventilators. There's hundreds and hundreds of people who have tested positive in the area. You got to remember the statistics, from basically around the world, including America, 80 to 85% of people who test positive have minimal symptoms. Mild cold, another small percentage, maybe 5 to 10%, have significant flu-like symptoms, whether it's a fever, body aches, bad cough, GI symptoms. It can be a whole mixture of things. And then you can get another 5 to 10% who get sick enough to actually just go to a hospital and get evaluated. And then you can get 5% who actually get admitted to the hospital. And then you can get a little less than half of those who get into the ICU. And so literally you have a 97 to 98% chance of going through COVID positive and not getting into a hospital ICU. Yeah, it's still scary if you're one of that 2%, but we do have to kind of remind ourselves that, this is a disease that 98% of people do just fine with.
What have you seen in common with people who are being admitted to like the ICU? Like, who are the high at-risk people versus the lower at-risk people? Like, is there a separator? Is there a divide between those two groups or three groups, whatever it might be?
Sure. There's a lot of cool articles out there.
I'm sure you read most of them.
A lot of them. I'm sure there's others. But a lot of them, some from China, some from Italy, some from Sweden, some from America. Lots of different people have ideas. Things we know for sure: if you have a body mass index greater than 30, you have a 3 times higher risk of presenting to a hospital. If you smoke, in Italy, they were talking about how 40% of their positives were people between 20 and 45. Well, about 85% of those people were smokers.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. So,
It's so funny because they may be like, oh, it's 20 to 45. They don't
and,
mention that they smoke.
and they were all listed as otherwise healthy,
I guess it depends on the definition of what healthy is.
Absolutely. There's a great one. If blood type, if you're O positive, you're supposedly at a much better chance of having minimal symptoms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, who knows if that's true or not, but it's a cool one. But basically, anybody with underlying disease, and it turns out that it's actually more metabolic and cardiovascular underlying disease. So people who are significantly metabolically challenged, people who are overweight, out of shape, cardiac disease, if you're huffing and puffing going up and down a flight of stairs, guess what? You're not otherwise healthy. There's a great.
So freeze for a second. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, well, I'm not obese and I'm not healthy. I'm like, I'm in between. Like, where do those people fall?
Who knows? And it's not a cutoff. This isn't a sharp line as to, oh, you're in trouble, or, oh, you're going to be fine. It's just this virus definitely affects people in different ways. Some people can lose their taste. Some people can never get a fever. Some people can cough. Some people get body aches. Some people get half of that. Some people get all of it. Some people get one of them. And so it's really different for all types of different people. The problem is if you have other weaknesses that prevent the body to work on the virus, then you're more likely to have more symptoms for the virus. There's a great breakdown. In reality, there's only 12% of America is quote unquote healthy. 60% plus people are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And then you have another percentage that have cardiovascular disease, another percentage who have asthma or COPD. Then you have another percentage who have cancer. You have another percentage who smoke or vape. And if you cut all those people out, literally you're down to between 11 and 12% of people who are quote unquote otherwise healthy. And that probably is contributing to some of the more severe symptoms in a lot of people.
So what is our medical, if you're not obese, you don't have, or are you considered healthy by your by most medical practices? It's like if you're not really overweight and you're just kind of like 26% body fat, you're not obese, are you considered healthy? Or are you what is that definition?
I would say in general, if you're not taking any prescription medicine, you're probably considered healthy.
Okay. That's fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, people even, who, if you look at them, go, whoa, they're pretty overweight. Most doctors, sadly enough, are going to say, yeah, if they're not taking any medicine, they're otherwise healthy.
Okay. Now, do you have a different feeling on that? As I know I do. I feel like if we're talking so I would say there's sickness, there's wellness, and then there's fit. And just kind of on that hedge, we know that fitness hedges against sickness and vice versa. So,
right on the range, on the scale of wellness, fitness, wellness, and sickness. I think fitness we understand as being able to do a good workout. I think wellness is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of I'm not always going to a doctor. I don't take a lot of prescription medicine. Maybe you take a little something for asthma or hay fever or something like that. And then I think sickness obviously is something where you need medical attention on a regular basis, where it's every 3 months or 6 months and you're taking a couple medicines, stuff like that. I think that's a good way to look at it.
I want to talk about, I know you wanted to talk about some insurance stuff with wellness dollars. Is there stuff that people can do insurance-wise to save money, or whether it's with their own fitness or with their health, they can do on a more regular basis?
Yep. We're always looking for ways to allow people and get people to jump in easier, so to speak. And we've been digging into different ways to try and use, a lot of insurances have these wellness dollars or wellness programs. The three big players around here, Empire, CDPHP, and MVP, all have those wellness programs. Some of them are you get points, and you can build up points just by going to get regular physicals or proving that you're eating well, or you get your teeth clean. You can get these fitness points. Empire actually has a good one where you get a $200 credit, and you can spend it anywhere you want, as long as it's in their wellness definition. And gyms, including CrossFit, fit into that definition. So if you have Empire, you can probably get a $200 rebate by doing our nutrition program, or joining a gym, joining our CrossFit, doing any type of wellness activities. If you're not aware of that, you should look into it if you have the Empire plan. MVP and CDPHP kind of go through brokers where they have like a preferred list, and we're trying to crack that egg, so to speak, to get on that list.
Be nice.
A little tougher than you can only imagine. But hopefully we can get into somewhere like that, so we can get some reimbursement or some sort of kickback or feedback from those, so that we can get you guys some dollars back.
Yeah, I think that's always a plus when people see that incentive. Even though they're also going to save money on the back end of that stuff, or if they're buying medication, or they go to the doctors more often, if they can fund a way to get fit, they're like, yeah, well, I spend it on food. Like, yeah, but it's better than going to the doctor and spending that time.
Yeah. I was just reading a book by Mark Hyman, Dr. Mark Hyman. God, I wish I have it here somewhere. I don't want to get up though. I'll lose my everything. But he was talking about, there's a couple great studies out there where they took type 2 diabetes, and they gave half of them one workout a week and nutrition guidance, and the other half they kept on the regular medical stuff. They were able to improve all their markers, including their amount of insulin, their amount of money spent, to the point where they were saving anywhere from 30 to 50% of all medical costs on the people who actually had nutrition coaching and worked out at least once a week in a group setting with other type 2 diabetics.
I need to
incredible numbers.
You need to send me that study, because I need
I'll get it for you.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the more that we can get people to move and feel better, I think that it's a home run, especially like once we get people on board to do so, and they know that there's other outlets to do that, and it's for them to save some money and find good quality coaching. I think a lot of people are just kind of like stuck on like, where do I start? And now that I'm not at home, or now that I have to be at home, well, now I have to do stuff by myself at home, and there's no motivation. So, like,
right.
I know that you've been working out at home. What have you done motivation-wise? Has there been like anything specific? I know you have a busy schedule too, but.
Well, it's actually interesting. I was worried that everything was going to fall to crap. I'm fortunate. I love the outdoors, and biking is finally warm enough. So I've been doing a lot of biking. I still get up and do the Warlock WOD in the morning, usually by myself, which is fine. Do the work and then hopefully get a bike ride in. I'm actually finding it easier to watch what I eat and do what I eat, because I'm actually got some time to take care of it, and I'm not rushing off to work, at all hours, or carrying 1 or 2 or 3 meals with me and stuff like that. So my diet's actually been a little bit more on course than off over the last couple of weeks, which I'm pleasantly surprised with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that you think people can do in the interim to kind of like help those markers move just a little bit health-wise? So, like, let's say like my A1C is a little bit high, my blood pressure is a little bit high, I'm 20 to 30 pounds overweight. Like, what would you recommend for somebody to kind of get started? Or how to get started?
Well, any way to get started. Number one, the weather's warm enough, get outside and do something, whether it's work in the yard, go for a walk, walk around the house. I mean,